welcome Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Fred McDaniels.
I'm Coach Rick Youngblood, back in the building on a Friday night, Dayton, Ohio. We're back in the building. Coach, what's been going on?
Man, it's just been a rough week for me, man, trying to get everything together. We got some great news we're going to talk about on our next podcast. So right now, everything is what it seems, bro. You know, I'm just glad that it's Friday. Seems like my body and my mind relax when it's Friday. You know why? Because it's the weekend and we can do the things that we can do. And I am so happy that football is starting next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's up with you? What you been up to?
Just working, the same old, at being in the grind, working every day and being at home, working around the house. But, relaxing, trying to relax and still dancing 2-3 times a week and, just enjoying life. But once again, I'm excited too for football season to start. I mean, all of them, college, high school, pros. I'm ready for all of it to start.
I am too, man. It seems like I get happy.
When that starts,
Yes, sir.
What my Saturdays and Sunday entails, down in the man cave in front of the TV.
Yep,
Don't
that's
bother
it.
me. I'm
Sundays
good.
is my day. I tell you. But we're gonna jump into our program. We got a great special guest with us today, so we're gonna jump into the program. We're going to talk a little bit about our mentorship program. It's going to be September 20th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So, Rick, just tell us a little bit about our mentorship program.
Our mentorship program, Coach, has been a success to all of you out there. It's been a success so far. We've done a lot of special guests and a lot of different people from all walks of life that we've done, from lawyers to doctors to financial people to big brothers, big sisters. A lot of people that can impact your children's lives in a very positive way. So we look forward to having our mentorship classes and helping those that really need the help that we can reach out to and let them know that they're not alone, that we are here to support them however way they need to be supported. If they just need an ear for us to listen, we're here for that as well. So just take advantage of this class and come on out, go on the website and sign up at www.ohiovalleyelite.com. and sign your kid up and show up on Friday, September 20th, 5 to 7 p.m. Once again, Friday, September 20th, 5 p.m. to 7. And they will get some very, 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 very meaningful information that they can use, Coach. So I look forward to it.
Well, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to that as well. We're going to jump into our next program that we offer. We offer Parents Time Away. That's going to be Friday, September 19th and September 20th, that's a Saturday, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Drop off your kids. We got treats, we got games, we got arts and crafts, we got things that out there that you guys will enjoy. So, Rick, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Parents Time Away is I wish we had when my kids were still in school, and because they were big into sports, and that's what we spent our time. From AAU with my daughter all through the summer, and her basketball in the winter, to my son's football in the fall and the winter, and it just what we did.
Right.
And from him playing lacrosse through the summer, it's what we did. And so you find yourself, it's like, okay, now the kids have graduated. We're looking at each other like, what do we get to do? We don't know anything
right?
else. We don't know. Our weekends is usually with them, so what do we do? So this is a big time for you to get out and understand that you got to be parents to have some time for yourself. So get your chance, get your kids, and you bring them over. You can go out with your significant other, wife, husband, boyfriend. Have a good time. Go to dinner, go dancing. Like we start dancing when our kids graduated, so we start dancing, and we really, really love it. We do urban ballroom, we do traditional ballroom dancing, so we love it, and it's the time. Give us the time to spend together, just me and her. So it's something that we really love. So get a chance. Please go and sign up for this again. Ohio Valley, www.ohiovalleyelite.com or nailbwalker@gmail.com. Come on out, drop your kids off, and go have a great time. Trust me, it will be super beneficial in the long run for when the kids are all grown and gone, or they get to the age, teenagers, where they don't want nothing to do with the parents anymore. You have time for yourself. So come on out and let's pack the place on Saturday, September 20th, and Friday, September 19th. 2 to 6 p.m.
All right. Well, like I said, parents, please come out. Just give us a chance. Drop your kids off, and like Rick said, go have fun. We got them for those couple of hours to let you lay your hair down and do your thing. So we're going to jump right into our show. You know what I'm saying? It's a special guest that we have in the house, and it's an honor for me to interview him because he always interview everyone else, including myself. So we like to give a round of applause for Doug Brown from Gym City Sports Network. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's going to be weird being on this side of the table, not being not being the interviewer.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be you're going to chance to interview me, so we're going to change the channel here.
And I love it. I want to definitely get some questions. I definitely need to ask you.
Fire
but I'll
away.
just start off before I let my partner go. I'll just start off. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you do with the community and how you got started?
I've been doing this for about 50 years, but the Gym City Sports Network's been in business for like 13. And we just got, Brian Reese and I got together and we said, okay, let's do this. And what we do is we do schools and organizations that don't get a lot of love in the Dayton media, which is a lot of them, because the media has really downsized in the last, 20 years. You don't see the 15 or 20 reporters at the Dayton Daily News. You don't see 15 or 20 or 10 or 15 reporters going out for the news stations and stuff like that. You just don't see that anymore. So we decided we're going to get together and do this, and that's what we've been doing.
Well, that is great. That is great. That is great. I know that your happy football season is coming. I know you do baseball.
I do it all
type of sports. So can you just tell us a little bit about your little football schedule and when you would air things and things like that? And I'm gonna let Ricky go ahead and jump in.
We air things live. Like we'll start. Our first game will be Tippecanoe at Bellbrook. That's our first game, and then game 2 will be at Indian Lake. Get to go up to the lake and see my buddies up there, the good old Lakers. And then our third game is going to be a good one. It's going to be Springfield at Trotwood Madison.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
That is definitely going to be a good one.
I'm going to try to get the coach's corner out there.
Where's that game at?
That should be at Trotwood.
It's at
right?
Trotwood.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's always a good game. I think last year it was like 15-14.
Oh, wow.
And but it was over at Springfield, and Maurice Douglas does a heck of a job over there, and so does Jeff Graham over here at Trotwood. So they do a heck of a job, and they got those kids fired up and ready to go.
That is awesome.
All right. I got a chance to read your bio, Mr. Brown, and like I said, you've done a lot of stuff for a long time and very, very, very interesting, a lot of things that you've done. My first question to you was, I know you worked for ABC 22 and Fox 45, back in the day, 98 to 2006. My question was, what do you see as the biggest difference in the media now than when you worked for them back?
Oh, a lot of it. You got the cameras; they're all new. The way they back when I was at 22, they were using tapes to run the videos and stuff like that. Now it's all in the computer, and you can also take a camera out and you can edit right there. You can edit the plays right there, and it's quite different. I mean, technology basically is second to none now. Back in the day, it was like it's old stuff now. It was ancient stuff now, because that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And but we had this, used to have here in the studio one of these cameras that you could whip around real quick. Back then, we had those real big studio cameras that you couldn't move, and if you accidentally hit it, it was going to ring out, and it was going to mess up the anchors. I think what happened one time, and Michelle Kingsfield just lost it because somebody hit the bottom. It was like a big square or a big triangle. Somebody hit that, bam! It resonated throughout the whole place. But basically, what's changed is everything. I mean, the technology is something else now.
So would you say it's tougher now being a media person than it was back then?
I think it's easier.
Oh, okay.
It's easier now because back when I was growing up and I wanted to do this, I had to have an FCC license to get on. And we didn't have computers. We didn't have, we only had 3 channels back when I was growing up, and it was 2, 7, and 22, or 2, 7, and 16. 22 came on, I think, in the 60s, and then 45 came on later on. But it was like, you didn't have, we were all outside. We didn't have computers. We didn't have the cell phones. We didn't have anything like that. So it's all changed right now. It's all changed
Wow.
for the good.
Yeah, it has, with
Yeah.
the way the world is going now,
Just
everything
spinning
is
around,
changed for the better.
Definitely.
So what first drew you to wanting to be in the media?
What's that?
What first drew you to wanting to be in the media? Of all things.
Well, it was I got the bug when I was 9 years old.
Oh.
Wow.
And back then, the Reds were on Channel 2, and they were. And I thought it was cool that you could see a game from Crosley Field or Forbes Field or Connie Mack Stadium or Dodger Stadium or Shea Stadium or wherever, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then Omar Williams, who was the dean of sports here in the Miami Valley at the time, he would come on after the game and do a post-game show and have the scoreboard show. And he would have, like Chicago and Pittsburgh, the White Sox and the Yankees and stuff like that, But I thought, man, that is cool. I'd like to do that. So finally, I got to do it. I got to do stuff with WAVI. I know you guys probably don't remember them, but it's now WDAO. And so I got to do stuff with Bob Quessel and Steve Hall on the Dayton Gems, the old Dayton Gems hockey team, from 75 and 76. And I tell you what, that was one heck of a team. You talk about the Broad Street Bullies from Philadelphia, we made them look like little kids. we made them look bad. And but it was a lot of fun to do. And I got it, when I got down to the studio there at WAVI, I said, this is definitely me. This is definitely what I wanted to do. So,
oh wow!
And then I got into it. So It's been 50 years.
Wow, to have it figured out that it's really great to be able to figure that out at 9 years old and to know what you want to do and to have that passion to go ahead and do it and then keep doing it for 50 years. That's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
It is.
And I think we do a good job at bringing sports to the area. I mean, we can't do. We don't want to do the Centervilles and the Fairmonts because they got their own radio station. If you got a radio,
I did not know that.
Yeah, they've got their own stations that cover them all the time. Just like Wayne has WSWO calling the games all the time. So we don't do Wayne. We might do basketball, or we might do baseball or softball or something like that. But if there's a school that has a radio station that's doing those games, we don't touch them. We'll go somewhere else. And that's how we're flexible. What would we do without a computer?
I'm telling you. So your partner, he couldn't come today. I know we're supposed to have him on a previous show, and we'll get him on. But can you give us a little bit of background how you guys met and who came up with this idea of Gem City Sports Network, and just take us down the line of that?
Actually, Brian came up with the idea, and he hit me with it. And we met when you would like this. The Miami Valley Silverbacks were playing up at the Hobart Arena in Troy. Indoor football. That was crazy. It was fun. And now some of these little kids were running around the turf out there at Hobart Arena are now playing football down at Tulane and playing basketball at Alder. But Brian and I, we got together, and he, I went down to Evansville, lived down there for a couple of months, and came back here. And he says, "Hey, let's get together and have a internet radio." I said, I don't know. It's kind of okay. Let's do it. Because I had to think about it for a little bit. Because back then, 13, 14 years ago, internet radio was still brand new. And I didn't know how that was going to work, how we were going to get money, how we were going to do this, be able to go here and there. But we figured it out. And Brian is the brains behind everything. I mean, if something goes down with a computer, he can fix a computer like crazy. I mean, he's perfect with it. I do all the games. I get the games, and he'll say, "Hey, I want to do this soccer match," and he does video now of soccer matches. Okay. And he's thinking about doing lacrosse and something else too. So I know you guys were talking about lacrosse and stuff like that before. So I don't even know the rules. That's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to call if I don't know the rules. But we got started like that, and we started doing. Our first game was Stebbins at Belmont girls basketball. I thought, okay, that's going to be a good game. But that's why we go out and get those games, because we think it's going to be good, and it gives those kids a chance to shine on radio. And we have we've done over 2,600 games, and it's different. We just wanted to do that, and our thing was, like I said, our model is we do schools and organizations that don't get a lot of loving in the Dayton media, and a lot of the big schools do it. And somebody came up to us and said, "Well, why don't you do UD Flyer basketball?" I said, "Say what?" I said, "I don't think so." I said, "WHIO's got that market cornered big time." I said,
Yes.
well, we don't even. I don't want even.
Yeah.
No. But Brian and I, Brian's got season tickets out there, and but he's like I said, he's a very smart guy, and he does a great job at keeping us on the air. And we just go out and get games, and we've been doing it for 13 years, and it's going to be 14 in November. So, but we just keep chugging along.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that is wonderful that you guys decided that, to give some exposure to the little people, as we call them in the area that, don't get that exposure and get to be seen like, oh, well, we can play here and we can still get seen and heard, just like the big schools who's got everything and we don't. So that's kind of giving even the playing field a little bit. So that's wonderful that you guys decided to do it that way. And I know being in the media like that and doing Gym City Sports is a lot of traveling for you. You travel here, you travel there.
Oh yeah.
But what's can you just describe to me what's a typical day for you? Like say football season starts next Friday and you got a game somewhere.
Yeah.
So what would next Friday typically look like for you?
Well, I get everything finalized. Okay, during the week I get the interviews with the coaches. They'll call me and I'll tape it, and then I'll air it the day of the game. And then I, basically just keep working, getting things finalized. Like the stats, make sure they're okay, and like for example this week or with Tippin at Bellbrook, I got to go to last year and say, okay, this is what this kid did. This Lurkin Thomas, he did a heck of a job. He had over like 3,600 yards passing or something like that. So I just write down notes. I just get my notes together, and then I put them all together on Friday. And then about, I always try to get to the stadium 2 hours ahead of time, 2 hours before kickoff, because I go on the air 30 minutes before. So I'm really getting there an hour and a half ahead of time before I go on the air.
So you go on the air before the game starts?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But that way I can kind of set up the game, do the coach's interview, because they last 5-10 minutes.
Right.
What you get a guy like Jim Place going, and you got to say, okay. Jim does a great job. Don't get me wrong.
We had him on the show. He does a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets going, and sometimes it's over. It's time for us to move on, stuff like that. But Jim's a great guy. I love the guy. He does a great job. And like you had him on here for the social justice 7-on-7. That's a great camp.
I know we missed it because we had. Air Force duties came involved our main jobs, but me and Ricky definitely going to try to make the next one because that is very exciting for the community, and I like the cause that they do. So that's really special.
Yeah, because I think it's something we need. It's something we need because some of the kids, they're playing football right now, okay, or they're running cross country, or they're playing soccer or something like that. Some of the kids, like the inner city kids, they don't go out to like Dixie or Eaton or Greenville, something like that. It gives a chance for all these kids to get together and to get to know each other. And then who knows what's going to happen later on down the road. Friendships can be made out of that,
right.
You're right. So I think it's a great thing that he does.
But yeah, it does.
Building friendships and building bonds. And,
yeah.
Those kids have lifelong connections that, they might meet somewhere down the road. They might end up on the same college team somewhere.
That's right.
I remember you.
Yep.
Yeah, those friendships
you went to Dunbar, didn't you? I went to Wayne.
Yeah.
So okay.
No.
Those friendships makes a huge difference.
Exactly.
So when you guys do the game, you actually do play-by-play?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I do.
Real good. I sat next to him a couple of times. We did really, really well for Flight Academy. So yes, that's how I met him through the basketball games.
I think I was.
Yeah, you was there a couple of times. Yeah, doing the clock. Yes, he was there.
Doing the clock.
Yep, that's him.
Oh, that's that. Wow. Okay, that's.
Yeah,
it's something. It takes a. Just I always wonder listening to those guys when you're watching football and stuff. on the TV, them guys doing play-by-play. It's always wondered, it's like, wow, that seems like a tough job.
It's
'Cause
easy.
you have to know. Seems like you have to know a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
you
to
can't
do
be
your research.
stuttering. You got to
No.
know that's 25. McDaniels just took the shot. He got the ball. He dribbling. That's a lot.
But you know, some of those guys that for CBS, Fox, and all that, they get a stack of papers like this, and got all the stats in it and stuff like that. So
wow.
that makes them sound smart.
Yeah, it
This is me right here. I do all this stuff myself. You
So
know?
they get theirs handed to them. Here you go.
So basically they Mondays is meetings and studying and all of this
Yeah.
stuff before that big stuff.
Sunday and Mondays are days off. I don't do nothing unless I have a game like for UD baseball or something like that.
We're going to get into that. Yeah.
Okay. Or if I got this past summer, I've been doing adult baseball, and I mean it was like 50 and over, 40 and over.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, they've got leagues all over the place that have 30, 40, 50 years old and over.
Wow.
And
You got to send them our way. We would love to interview them because
Okay.
we didn't know that.
Yeah.
People need to know that.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they're all over the place. They're down in Cincinnati, and there's a few teams up here that 40 and over, 50 and over, and 60 and over. And there's some teams down in Florida that are 70 and 75 and older.
Still playing baseball or softball?
No, baseball.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
They aren't. They aren't an Ellie De La Cruz or anything like that. But
But no,
but
shoot. But their
still-
ages, yes. And I'm just thinking about what, man. I'm counting
You
my
can do
numbers.
it. You can do it.
Yeah, I think I can do it.
No, I think I could do it. Now I'm telling my age, so I don't want to go there. But I didn't know that they had that. That is
Yeah.
real cool.
We got that with them. And so
Out
take
there
a
over
few
60,
swings, that
rock.
bitch is rolling.
I would love that. Boy, that would definitely keep me in shape. I tell you that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely keep
yeah.
you in
They
shape.
play two. I think they play 2 games a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They
So
play some over
Wow.
50. They play some
You
over
got to
50
let us know
ball.
when you go out there.
Some
We'll
over
just come
50
out there at
baseball.
least to check it
Steven,
out.
can
You
I be
know
on
what I
the
mean?
team?
And we can go live, me and him, by being in the stands. But yeah, send them our way if they want to interview and tell
Sure.
tell Dayton or the world that they out there. Because a lot of people,
Let's
like
do
I
it.
said, a lot of people didn't know that. So, you know, we would
hey,
love to get it out there.
I'll keep doing what I do. Keep sending people your way.
We appreciate it. And everybody that you sent us was great.
Well, thank you.
Yes, they were wonderful guests. But I'm going to jump back in there before I
Okay.
let Rick jump back in there. I just want to ask you, how did you get hooked up with the Dayton University with the baseball going on?
Well, I'd gone out to a game, and I thought, well, I don't see any radio out here. And ESPN Plus comes out, but they don't come out till after the basketball season's over with, pretty much, or unless they don't have anything going on.
So they don't get no love.
No, not really.
Oh.
And you rarely see TV out there. You rarely see the newspaper out there. So I went up. I just asked the guy. I said, "Hey, would you like to have somebody do the games on radio?" He said, "Yeah, as long as the ESPN Plus isn't here." So we got going. This about 4 or 5 years ago, and I did a couple of games. They liked it, and then 4 years ago, I was there for every home game. And whether ESPN Plus was there or not, I was there. I said, "Hey, I don't care about ESPN Plus. This is me. This is Gem City Sports Network. We're the voice of the Flyers in the way of baseball." So I said, "Okay." And then the SID left. Kyler Ludlow came in. He was with me for 3 years. Now we got a new girl out there that's going to take over because Kyler's taking over for Doug Hochschild. So, but we just got started at that, and it's been fun. I mean, the parents they love it because if you look at the roster for UD, there's not a lot of local kids on there. I think the last time there was like 3. Last year I think it was like 3 or 4 kids that were local. The rest were all from all over the place. We even had a kid from Aruba, and his dad came up and he says, "I like the way you do the games, and thank you for doing it because I can listen to the games now."
That is all. So y'all in Aruba?
We're
So
all
how-
over the world. We're internet. We're all over the world.
Oh, so our podcast, when you put us on the radio, is going out?
Uh-huh.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay, I just thought it was the Dayton. I really
Hey,
thought
Fred.
it was the Dayton area and things like. I didn't know our voice was hearing all around the world. and
Hey,
that is
Fred,
wonderful
it's called
to do.
technology.
Yes.
You're famous, Coach. You're famous.
Yeah, you're famous now.
You're famous. Oh,
I'm
you
surprised
all
people
over.
aren't waiting out here for your autograph.
Soon. Soon. Soon.
You need a bodyguard.
Yeah,
Man.
soon.
Back up. Mr. McDaniels, please have my autograph.
But that is interesting. That
Yeah,
is something great to get involved. I'm happy that you do it because, like you said, when I met you, I didn't know about that. And when I started there 4 years ago, when we were doing post grad football, I would have loved to have you come out. I did not know. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And people was coming out. They was screaming the games, you know, and stuff like that. But we didn't have that play-by-play radio. He would just, you know, say, "Oh, tackle by 24."
Oh, you
that
just
was
had
it.
the PA announcer.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. So, but I didn't know that. So now I'm glad that you do this, and we got some things in the future that we're not going to talk about on this show, but they're coming for Ohio Valley Elite Prep Academy. That's coming soon, and so we'll leave that alone at this time. But do you do youth? Do you do those games?
I've done a few of them. I've gotten to the point where it's varsity up.
Okay.
I tried to do a couple of kids games and it just took forever. Just seemed like, you know how baseball is, you know, walk after walk after walk, you know, people get tired of hearing that, you know. So I just go basically high school and up, high school varsity and up.
So you said they walk, what, they go too slow? Are you talking about basketball or football?
No, football, baseball.
Baseball.
Oh, I was talking about football.
Football?
The little kids.
Yeah, football I could do a game, but it's kind of tough because, you know, they're so small out there. And you're far away, and you know, if you don't have a good set of binoculars, you don't see the number.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, we used to do that duty when we was on the board. We had to sit there with binoculars, and then I'd be like, "Rick, was that 25?" Give him, yeah, that was 25. So yes, and then we tell the announcer, and then he does it. So yeah, it is difficult. But I just wanted to know that you do things like that.
Yeah, we did it earlier
Okay.
when we were first starting out. We did. I think I did a Pee Wee football game in Medway, and it was kind of tough to do because you were sitting in like a corner, and you know the parents, they get up and they start walking around. And you can't see anything, so it's kind of hard to do,
Oh, okay.
especially when the kids look like.
Yeah, when they small, it's like,
Right.
who was that?
But they're good. Yeah, some of the kids are real good, you know, and I'm sure that there's a few of them playing on Friday nights that are, you know, when they were playing the Pee Wees,
Yeah.
they were running all over
You
people.
could tell. You could tell that,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, those kids that'll be special because they still special once they get to high school. They
Yeah.
still special.
Well, you know, you asked me about the area we cover. Well,
Yeah.
I've had people listening in China, Israel, Iran, Russia, England, Scotland, Ireland, all over the place. Germany, just all over the place. So you're going to be famous.
Yeah, they already know,
You're gonna be
they already know
famous.
who you are. They already know who you are in Russia.
Yeah, they know the voice.
Mr. Fred.
You know
Mr. Fred.
that is awesome.
He's a special guy. He's going to be big.
But you know, you were asking me about UD, and when I was doing these games, well, the last couple of years, people would come up to me and they would say, "Thank you for doing the games," because if not, we have to look at the live stats, you know, on the computer and just see what's going on. You know, you see a pitch come in, ball one. You know, you won't hear the play-by-play. You won't see the game on TV or anything like that. It's just all computer. It's game day stuff. And you know, I had people come up to me and say, "Hey, thank you for doing those games. It was really something. You really put a lot of heart into it." And I got the same thing out of Central State. I was at Central State for 9 years, and I loved every minute of it. So, because the kids were very friendly, and I even had one guy. I walked in one day with sunglasses on, and he said, "Hey, Doug E. Fresh in the house."
Dougie Fresh.
And then I walked in without him. He says, "Dougie," I said, "Nope, I'm not Dougie Fresh. I don't have my sunglasses on." But you know, it was our friendship like that really got the kids involved too. Because I do player profiles, and before a game, and so it's always fun to do, and the kids loved it. And same way with UD and Clark State. We've done a lot of them, so it's fun to do.
That is what it's all about.
Yeah, it is. That is awesome. And I know you've enjoyed doing this for so long.
Oh yeah.
And you're still really enjoying it. That's great. But what would you say is the most challenging part of your job?
When you get teams that have dark numbers on dark background.
Yeah, who does that? I know. Have
Oh,
gray on black.
Well, I had a team. There was a team in from Salem, West Virginia. They were Salem International, and you know how it's Slippery Rock. They had the same colors. Okay, they come into Central State, and they had dark green jerseys with black numbers, or no, black jerseys with dark green numbers, no trim. I couldn't see the number from me to you, and I said, I don't know, but that was challenging because I had to see what the girls were wearing, whether they had a bracelet, hairbreadth, socks, shoes, whatever, a knee brace, back brace, whatever they had on. I had to find out what their number was, and that's a challenging thing right there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the challenge before we got all the computer stuff that we have now, it was getting the stats and getting the rosters. That was the hardest part. That was very challenging, and then also getting scores. But now you got ScoreStream doing giving you scores, and you can get, say, somebody says, "Hey, what's the score of the Wayne Centerville game?" Say Wayne 14, Centerville 10, or something like that.
Right.
Just out of the blue. So I had one guy come up and ask me, it's challenging because sometimes you just don't know what to expect when you get to the gym or the field or whatever, the racetrack. You don't know. And I did racing too, auto racing.
Oh, we're gonna get into that, though. We got a lot of things to ask. Okay.
But yeah, it's challenging a lot. A lot of times it's challenging just trying to get stuff together. Like in this book here, I got things from last year. I got the leagues from all over the state. I got schedules. I got all kinds of stuff in here, and it's challenging to get because, for example, Trotwood, they're not in a league, so it's hard to get their roster and their stats. But thank goodness for Jonas Smith out there. And then you got Stivers getting a new coming on with new football out there at their place, so they're going to kind of be playing an independent schedule. So it might be hard getting stats, but mostly the stats and the schedule are a challenging thing. And if teams weren't black and green,
right. So if they just, I can see that being a challenge. I really do.
Because back when I was trying to get stats and stuff like that, I had to call the school and say, "Hey, could you send me some stats?" And they said, "Yeah, it'll be there in about 3 days." It has to come in mail. That's the way it came. We didn't have computers back then, but that's the way it was, So, but yeah, the challenging part is the uniforms, the rosters, and the stats.
And I'm glad that you said that. Is because now I see why on Mondays you be like, "Yo, man, you got the schedule for me? You got the roster for me?" I'll be like, "Doug, I'm gonna get it to you." Now I see what you're talking about now. So in the future, I'm definitely gonna get you the things that you need bright and early. So I know what you go through, and I know it's hard to say, well, to give it to you 2 days before the game, or give it to you at the game. So
or you don't understand why.
Right now I do. Now I do. That's why we
like,
interview you.
Like, why,
now
why
we know what you do.
He don't need it till Friday. Why he want me to give it to him on Tuesday?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
but now it makes sense to
Yeah,
you.
it
Now
makes
you're
sense.
like, okay.
Yep.
But see, I'm a one-man gang when it comes to the radio station. I got to go out and get. I got to go out and get the ads, the sponsors, and stuff like that too. So I got to spend a day doing that, and plus then get stats, rosters, get game notes put together, and stuff like that. That's my week. That's Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday, if I have something to do, then I'll do it. But then Sunday and Monday, don't even think about calling me.
Don't
Call me. Repeat that again. What days?
Sunday and Monday, you don't
call me.
Don't call me. I won't answer the phone.
No.
That's all right. I normally shoot your emails anyway.
Call me back on Tuesday. This is Doug. Call me back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm resting. I hear you. I definitely hear you.
So you said Trotwood is not in the league? Why
No, they're independent right now.
Wow, I didn't even know they had independent high schools.
Yeah, they're independent. Jefferson's independent. They're getting their sports program back together again, and because they've got football now this year, and Stivers is now back.
Has Trotwood always been independent?
No, they were part of the GWalk at one time, and also the Greater Miami Valley Conference
Yeah, I
at
thought
one
they
time.
were part of.
But I guess some of the, I don't know what, I heard that it was because some of the teams they couldn't field some teams that were needed, like in the 7th, 8th grade, stuff like
Right.
that, freshmen. They couldn't field those teams, so I guess GWalk didn't ask them to come back. So now they're now playing. Now that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. But Trotwood, they're I heard that, and I was at the meeting at Stivers, that they're thinking about City Leagues, thinking about putting them in the City League along with Jefferson. But we'll find out. We don't know. But
So who do they play now?
well, their first game is against Cleveland East or Cleveland
So they're
Heights.
playing teams.
They play a schedule that if the team, say like Moeller, how they play all those teams from out of state,
Yes.
Moeller could schedule them. They were playing basically a City League schedule because they were playing Belmont, Meadowdale, Thurgood, Dunbar. They were playing all those. And Ponence. I love Ponence. But that they were playing basically that schedule, and if you look at the scores, they were having a running clock in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So now they've kind of taken away some of the city schools, and they're putting on some of the tougher schools, and a lot of travel for those kids. A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they played Cleveland Heights last year up in Cleveland on a Friday night. Yeah.
So they got to get out of school and book it, huh?
Right. Well, Cleveland Heights is coming down here to play this
time.
year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they still got to go all over the place. It's wherever they can get a game. And Jonas and Jeff do a great job out there in getting games.
So you'll never see them against a Wayne or a Beaver Creek or a Centerville.
They
Well,
play
you might see them against Centerville.
Centerville and Springfield.
Yeah. You might see them, but they're getting, if they have, for example, I think the first 4 weeks of the season is basically non-league.
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
first three.
that's an easy fit for them to get a
game.
to get a game, stuff like that. I think there's one game that they don't have. There's a week that they don't have a game. They weren't able to pick one up. So
Wow.
Didn't know that.
yeah, it's very hard for an independent to get scheduled. But basketball's easy. They can schedule anybody at any time, but they get 22 games in.
So, if they're independent and then they have to play that type of schedule, how does it work when it comes to playoff time? How do they get seeded into something? Because it's like so many, like GWalk takes so many,
Right.
and then this conference takes so many. How do they get included in that?
In football, they're in Division III, I think.
Okay.
Division III, Region
Okay,
12.
Okay.
So they're automatically in.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the sports, everybody's in.
Okay.
So they're already in. But it's tough for them. But they're tournament ready when they get there, though,
Yeah.
because of the schedule that they've got.
So they kind of like a Notre Dame of college football.
Right, exactly.
So that's the same type of schedule they have in basketball as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're not.
It's non-league schedule all the way through.
Yeah, because like I said, the first 3 weeks is your non-schedule, and GWalk goes the next 7 weeks. They play in conference games,
Yeah.
so they don't have a conference. So
That would be nice if they ever get back into that, conference.
I think they're looking.
That's good. I hope so. We give a shout out Trotwood to get in the conference league.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, they played I would like to see them get back into like the Miami Valley League because they got some good teams in the Miami Valley League. GWalk, they won't ask them back, but Miami Valley League, never know. They might ask them in. City League, they're thinking about it, and but we don't know. We have to see what the higher ups say. Do you want Jefferson to come in? Do you want Trotwood to come in? It's one of those things where it's a lot of talk, but I think I don't know about you guys, but if you got kids in high school and you want to have a new team come in, ask the players, ask the kids that are doing the games, playing the games. How do you feel about playing Trotwood? How do you feel about playing Jefferson? How do you feel about playing Dayton Christian or something like that? How do you feel about playing those schools? Ask the kids. Don't ask the parents. Ask the kids. That's why I say. You know,
Yeah.
ask
Yeah,
the kids.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of kids would love that competition.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got
Kids
friends that go to those different
Yeah.
schools.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they want that
They want to play
they
against
want
their
that
friends.
smoke.
Yeah, they
You know
want
what I mean?
to
So
play
I don't
against
even know why the parents even have a say in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
It's
that's the
crazy.
parents'
Exactly. Well, yeah, school board.
Oh, okay.
The school board, stuff like that. They've got a say in it. The higher ups in the high school, JV, or
All that, yeah,
they've got a say in that. But you get the kids involved too,
yeah.
because they think they're left out. That's what I think.
Yeah, I do. So instead of getting to play Trotwood, you get to play somebody else, and you're like, oh, that's a blowout. Ooh, yeah, I'm not a fan of blowouts like you. I'm not a fan of blowouts sitting there and watching it. It's like, okay, I want to see 15-14, 28-27, 20-21 going down
Yeah,
the
I
last
love
drive.
it.
You
Let's,
know,
let's see this defense. Let's see
knockout,
yeah.
drag out. I don't want to see 50 to nothing at half.
Get this: last year in the state final, Division 7, Marion Local, they won 64 straight games, 64 consecutive. They won 4 straight state titles. They beat this team last year 74-0 in a state title
In a
game.
state title game?
Title game. Yes.
So who was this team playing?
Exactly. But
How did he even make it there?
Well, they ran
Wow.
the gamut. They ran the gauntlet just like everybody else does. But it's just, Marion Local, they're corn-fed boys up there.
Yeah.
That's true. And then you like
And
we
they-
always talk
and then-
any given
And
Sunday or any
then
Friday.
they
You
playing
know?
like,
That-
and then they're playing like what, Division 7?
Yeah.
So you playing in those up there, like they got that one school that's got the big corn-fed guys, and then it is Division 7. So the rest of the kids are like, other schools are like, yeah, we don't have what they have.
Right.
A lot of the schools like it would be like if you take like say Beaver Creek and put them in Division 7 and play them,
Oh,
they'd be killing them.
Yeah. You see, actually, I went up to Marion Local one time to do a preview for 22. They actually practice right next to a cornfield. They actually practice right next to a cornfield. Their stadium's like maybe 60, 70 yards away from the cornfield.
Yeah.
But, and that's the way that MAC conference is. I mean, it's tough. I mean, Marion Local came down here to open up the Roger Glass Stadium at CJ. Just blew them out of the water. They're that good. They live it. They live for football.
Yeah,
up there.
they live it up there every day and playing it from when they're 5. So
Maybe earlier than that.
So when they get up, they're good. We're going to Marion Local. That's where we're going. And so that's great. That's wonderful.
So till we get in near the end, I just wanted to how do you feel, or can you give some knowledge to these young kids that want to go into broadcasting? You know what I mean? And give them something that they can look forward to, because everybody can't be in the sports. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think broadcasting is very interesting. I wish I would have knew that back in the day as well.
Well, basically what you got to do is if you sit and watch a game or listen to a game on radio or something like that, just listen to the commentators and try to, watch a game on TV and try to call the game yourself. But there's so many outlets, like for example, Ponent's Tech. They've got a studio like this. They've got a full-fledged studio. They've got edit bays. They've got a radio station that's on the air. You can go in there and do that. And then I think they have a game of the week down at Welcome Stadium that they do on Friday nights. They let the kids do everything, except for the the switcher. Other than that, it's all kids. And if you want to get into it, go to a place like UD, Wright State. A lot of these colleges, they have the audio and visual, and they can they can teach you how to run the radio. Wilberforce has one. They've got a real good one over there.
So these kids can go to college.
They
for
can
that.
go.
They can go to college for that. Yeah,
exactly. They can go to college for it.
So I just wanted to let those kids that they don't think or they don't know that you can be, if you love sports, you don't have to be an athlete. You can go into different fields for a career or whatever that they want to do in life.
It's not just sports. If you're a news hound,
There
you
go.
can get into the news, and that you see on sports you only got 2-3 minutes for sports. You got the rest of the time you got for
news.
weather and news.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into that, that's you learn how to do that. You watch those people on TV. You listen to the people on radio, and that's how I learned. I never went to school. I listened to guys like Wade Hoyt, Marty Brenneman, Joe Nuxall, and Jack Buck. Let's see, Harry Carey. I listened to all those guys. Ernie Harwell out of Detroit. So I listened to those guys, and that's how I learned how to do it.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, that's a talent. That's a talent to get to do something like that, And I always remember when growing up and ESPN first came out, when they started doing ESPN, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to have that job. I would love to be on it. I get to talk about sports, what I love. I get to travel and watch sports and talk about sports and research sports. How do I get to be on an ESPN anchor? How do I get that job?
that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's not easy. But if you want to try and get on somewhere, go to college. Go to Wright State, UD, Wilberforce, Central State, wherever, and see if they got a communications department, and that's where you go. That's how you get in there. But like I said, Ponence, they got a radio and TV station there, and they're good. I mean, I fell in love with that place when I saw it. And
That's
it's
something to look into, because we
Yeah.
love to have the Coach's Corner on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe we get into a little play-by-play.
Yeah, a little something,
some games, set up and do some games,
Fred was sitting right. You guys were sitting right next to me when I was doing the game for Flight Academy. You could have come on right there and there.
Yo, but that's hard. Ricky might catch it better than me. I'll be stumbling with my words.
Well, you can do color commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Give me something easy to do. You know what I mean? Let me just sit by you and I can tell, if number 14 is shooting bricks, I can commentate on that, you know what I'm saying? But calling the play-by-play, I'll leave that to y'all. I'll leave that to them.
Oh, another hard thing, right, is if you're doing a team for the first time. Like I had a hard time with Flight Academy when I first did their games, but then after that it was no problem. So, but you do a team for like for UD baseball or something like that, or Central State basketball, football. You get to know those kids, and that's the easiest way to do things. But we're independent. We don't follow just one team, except for UD. But we follow different teams. I've got 10 games scheduled right now. Well, actually 13 because we're doing. I get this. Jefferson is playing Stivers on a Wednesday night down at Welcome Stadium.
Wednesday. Wow.
That's because Welcome Stadium is booked. They got to play it sometime.
Yeah, Wednesday. Wow. I know they had some Thursday games, but Wednesday. Wow. That's,
Well, they got. I think there's a couple of them out there.
Yeah, I know a few Thursdays out there.
So, right. So, do you got to ask Coach one more question? You got another question hidden in there?
Well, I do, but I was just gonna say that maybe if we know what his schedule, maybe we could go watch him in action, at one game somewhere he is, and just kind of listen to him how he do it to kind of get that feel for what it's like to actually do play-by-play while he, doing it at a game, and listen to him while he's actually doing it on the air. One Friday or something, we kind of coordinate that, see where he's going, and we just take off.
I can send you the schedule.
Okay, that'd be
And that's
that'd
good.
be
And
fantastic.
also, that'd be great. Well, go ahead and put your network in a plug. Let people know when they, when you're on, when they can listen to, where they, to go, and tell us how to get to you.
Well, you can tune in to radio1.gemcitysports.com. Listen live every Friday night from 6:30 till about 10. That's for the next 10 weeks. You can listen to the high school football game of the week. After that, it's basketball, same way. And it's all free. All free. We don't charge a thing. And we don't get paid. We just do it for the love of it. So we get paid by our sponsors. And if you know a sponsor, I'd like to have them. But it's just, you can also, if after the game's over with, I upload the games to my website, gemcitysports.com, and you can listen to any game you wanted to. Like, for example, if, say, you go to see Fairmont and Xenia, and you wanted to really know what was going on between Springfield and Trotwood, well, you can go back and watch it, or you can go back and listen to it anytime you want to. It doesn't cost a thing to do that.
So that means I can go back and listen to Coach's Corners back all the way to when we began, huh? Oh, okay. That is great to know.
You gonna listen to yourself?
Yeah.
He's studying. Boy, I sound good on there, boy.
Hey man, I think I'm going to get. I think I'm going to get my own radio station here. I'm going to be a star now.
Yeah.
But it's not as easy as you
I
think.
know.
Yeah, it's not as easy.
Everything comes with hard work.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for sending us guests. Thank you
Yes,
for all
yes,
you do
yes.
for the community, sports in general, and beyond. And I really do appreciate you being here.
Well, like
Thank
I
you.
said,
There. I appreciate it as well. Like I said, nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, but and then didn't know it was you sitting next to me when I was doing the scores, and I was like, this guy is really talking. He's really got this down. So, but it is really nice to meet you and to learn so much about you and the interesting stuff that you have done. But it was just really piqued my interest that the reason that you started Gym City, was to give those that don't get that media exposure a chance to get that media exposure. That really stood out to me. That's a wonderful thing to do because, we don't find a lot of people that do that. That, I'm doing this and then, like say, I got sponsors, but I don't get paid to do this. I got sponsors who pay me, but I'm doing this because I want to reach out to Johnny's Appleseed School back here that nobody knows about, but I'm going up here and broadcast their game so that everybody can hear about who that team is. And giving that kid who nobody had ever heard of, but he's really good, but nobody knows who he is because nobody even talks about it.
Yeah.
To give those kids almost an even playing field, it's fantastic, and I applaud you for that. And that's wonderful.
Here's one thing I want to say to you guys. Back when the COVID years, how they the OHSAA said everybody can be in the football playoffs, but you could opt out. Well, I was doing Thursday Night Lights at Channel 22, and they said, okay, we're going to need a game, but we can't play on, we can't do a playoff game. So I looked around and I saw, okay, Springfield Catholic Central taking on Bradford. Okay, two small schools, two Division VII schools. Do you ever hear about Bradford? No.
No.
Catholic Central you heard about, because of the basketball program, and the football was pretty good at the time. But I said, okay, let's go up and do Bradford at Catholic Central. Bradford had a 38-game losing streak. Catholic Central had a 27-game losing streak. So one of those streaks was going to come to an end.
One's going to come to an end, yeah, for sure.
So it was 23-7 or 23-6 at the half. It ended up 26-23 Bradford. Bradford was trailing 23-6 at the half.
Wow.
Came back and won it. And we had all our stuff torn down. And Jim Place and I, we were walking out of Howland Field in Springfield. And those kids from Bradford were still on the field. They were crying. They were hugging the cheerleaders, the fans that were there. They even had some guy with a huge train whistle. Every time Bradford scored, that whistle went off. And they had some apartments right at the end zone there.
Wow.
But after the game was over with, I was already gone before Bradford took off. And it took, it's probably about an hour drive. They got back, and I found this out from Tom Archdeacon, that they met them at the city line, the fire and police department, and gave them a hero's welcome when they got home.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
That's good. That is great. Yeah.
So
That is wonderful.
that's the kind of games I like to have.
Yes.
That's
yes.
the kind of games I like.
That's
And as a
awesome.
matter of fact, I got Bradford and Dixie at the last game of the year.
Oh, wow.
So two teams that are struggling, they get to play each other.
Better get that
But it's usually a pretty good game.
That is awesome. That is great. All right, so we always end our show with Ask Coach Ricky. Can you give us a little short something for the kids? Give the kids something today.
Oh, well, since it's be a perfect setting for those in high school and football is starting up now, I know you guys have been working hard this summer, and you're ready for the games to get started because you're tired of hitting each other and running over each other, your own teammates. But and now it's time to get out and showcase for you young guys. It's going to be an adventure for you young guys that just started in high school. Just continue to work hard and be ready for when your chance comes, and just continue to don't let nobody tell you can't do it. You can do, just because you're a freshman don't mean, or sophomore doesn't mean you can't play because a senior or junior ahead of you. You work your butt off, work your tail off, you can be just as talented as they are. Because if you want to take an example, look at the kid at Ohio State, freshman, star receiver they got. It didn't matter who else was playing, he did what he was supposed to do. So go out and do your job, have fun playing with your teammates, but work hard, work extremely hard, and don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. If you're excited to play in college, Showcase your talents now. Showcase your talents now. But one thing, if you aspire to play in college, please, please, please make sure that the schoolwork is taken care of. Ensure if you
Most
start in the
definitely.
ninth grade, because when you get to ninth grade, those grades count. And it doesn't matter how good you are, you cannot play in college if you can't get into the school, if you can't qualify to get into the school. If your grades ain't good enough, they can't take you, no matter if you're a 12-star. They can't take you. So ensure that your books are tight. Make sure things are tight as well on the field, and that your books are tight off the field. Get your schoolwork first, because it always says student athlete. You're a student first, and you can't be an athlete without being a student first. So just understand that you have to work hard in the classroom, get the classroom taken care of, and then get on the field taken care of, and that'll take you a long way, because education first. Because education nobody can take from you, and at some point, whether it's college, NFL, at some point the athletic side ends. But education stays with you forever. So just continue to work hard and enjoy playing with your teammates, enjoy the games themselves, and the sky's the limit. If you want to do it, it's in your heart, work hard, and you can get it done.
Enough said on that piece. Again, thank you, Mr. Doug. We really appreciate you. Gym City Sports Network.
GemCitySports.com.
GymCitySports.com. I'm out. I'm Coach Fred McDaniels.
Coach Rick Youngblood, we out. Peace.
Peace.